CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS2 News at 5 p.m.
Brett groped me and tried to take off my clothes.
I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
I believed he was going to rape me.
You may defeat me in the final vote, but you'll never get me to quit.
A high-stakes she said, he said that could determine the next Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. An emotionally charged event on Capitol Hill that has captured the country's attention.
Yeah, a California professor and a Supreme Court nominee each telling the world what they claim happened between them more than 3 decades ago. Dr. Blasey Ford told the Judiciary Committee today that she is 100% certain that Judge Brett Kavanaugh assaulted her at a Maryland party. The nominee fired back at the committee, calling the events of the past 10 days a national disgrace. And the president is standing behind his man, calling Kavanaugh's testimony powerful, honest, and riveting. Well, we have live team coverage of today's firestorm, and we begin with CBS2 political reporter Dave Bryan, who watched the entire hearing from gavel to gavel. Dave.
Well, Pat and Susie, an exhausting day for all sides in this wild nomination process. Dr. Blasey Ford went first, at times fighting back tears as she told the world about her story about the man who wants to be the next Supreme Court justice.
I believed he was going to rape me.
Stunning words from Palo Alto University professor Dr. Blasey Ford, who told the panel about the chilling moments between her and Kavanaugh that she says affected her for years.
I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling. This is what terrified me the most and has had the most lasting impact on my life.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your courage, and I want to tell you I believe you. I believe you.
My family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed.
Throughout the hearing, Kavanaugh angrily and emphatically denied the allegation against him.
I've never sexually assaulted Dr. Ford or anyone.
When asked whether he would welcome an FBI investigation into the allegations, Kavanaugh said he was immediately ready to clear his name.
It's an outrage that I was not allowed to come and immediately defend my name and say, I didn't do this.
He teared up when he talked about his family and female friends who sent him messages of encouragement before his testimony.
You've got nothing to apologize for.
GOP Senator Lindsey Graham stole the show with his fiery support of the embattled nominee.
This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
Towards the end of the heated hearing, calmer heads prevailed.
I am sorry for what's happened to you and your family, as I'm sorry for what has happened to hers.
None of these allegations are true.
Correct.
No doubt in your mind.
Zero. I'm 100% certain.
Not even a scintilla.
Not a scintilla. 100% certain, Senator.
You swear to God.
I swear to God.
That's all I have, Judge.
Now, right after the hearing adjourned, President Trump sent out this tweet. Judge Kavanaugh showed America exactly why I nominated him. His testimony was powerful, honest, and riveting. Democrats' search and destroy strategy is disgraceful, and this process has been a total sham and an effort to delay, obstruct, and resist. The Senate must vote. So what's up next? Well, that's up to the committee. Up to the committee chairman, Chuck Grassley, who's setting a vote for tomorrow, but he has said he's open to delaying it. Just as they did at the hearing, Democrats are expected to continue hammering away at their request for a full FBI investigation. Susie, back to you.
All right, Dave, thank you. And from the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C., here to California, women turned out across the country today. They marched in support of Dr. Blasey Ford and other victims of sexual assaults. One of the marches was held in West L.A., and that's where CBS2's Lisa Siegel is live tonight. Lisa?
Well, we are outside Senator Dianne Feinstein's office, and I can tell you more than 100 people, men, women, children, all came together today for an emotional rally. And for some victims of sexual assault, it was the first time they told their story.
I thought if I told anyone what happened, I wouldn't be able to find a job, and no one would love me or want me again. I would never have any semblance of a normal life.
And with that, Roxanne Knaus let go of a secret How at 16 she says she was sexually assaulted while others looked on. She says while the world watched Dr. Ford tell her story, she found the strength to publicly tell her story too, one she's held on to for so long.
17 years. And I don't want to feel it anymore.
She was just one survivor of sexual abuse who spoke out today at a rally called Stand with Dr. Ford, where close to 100 people from all over the Southland came together to show support for Ford as she goes through this process and make sure others know they're supported too.
I'm 74 years old and I've seen a lot of things that I disagree with, and especially now with what's going on with women.
The rally outside Senator Dianne Feinstein's office was also a call to action. Many say allegations like these deserve investigation and time and should never be rushed, no matter who it is, even a Supreme Court nominee.
The standards have to be higher than what we've allowed them to be. This is not normal, and this is not allowed, and we cannot repeat the mistakes that we made years ago with Anita Hill.
I think the world is watching, our kids are watching, so I think we're a terrible example right now.
Which is what breaks Roxanne Knause's heart.
I just feel sad that all these people had to go through it.
So she spoke out not just for herself, but for all survivors, asking for compassion and respect instead of a rush to judgment. A message she wants others like her to hear.
I'm here today to let the people who haven't spoke out know that you can live, you can love, and you can thrive.
And again, Roxanne and others said what Dr. Ford is doing truly gave them the strength to finally speak out publicly. I'm Lisa Siegel, CBS 2 News. Now back to you.
Thanks, Lisa. Now, a group of women rallied in support of Judge Kavanaugh on Capitol Hill. Supporters encouraged him to stay strong and said they would stand behind him.
We will stand with you. Stand firm. We've got your back. The Senate Democrats have been cynically using the pain of women and others for their political agenda.
His supporters said it's important Kavanaugh be confirmed because they say he'll stand up for the Constitution.
And sitting behind Kavanaugh as he spoke was actress and assault survivor Alyssa Milano. She, along with the founder of the Me Too movement, Tarana Burke, were the guests of California Senator and ranking Democrat Dianne Feinstein. After Dr. Ford's testimony, Milano spoke about how brave the professor was inside that room.
It's important for me to be here. It took me a very long time as a survivor to come to terms with and be public with my own abuse and assault.
Milano says she hopes people like Dr. Ford will encourage other survivors to tell their stories. Milano also tweeted video from her seat behind Kavanaugh as he testified and wrote, "I will say this, if a woman were to yell, interrupt, and cry while being questioned, people would call her unhinged or say she had a meltdown."
Well, people across the Southland were glued to their TVs today watching practically every second of that testimony. At Philippe's, the original restaurant in LA's Chinatown, lunch was served with a big helping of the hearing. Customers watched intently as Dr. Ford and Judge Kavanaugh gave their versions of what happened more than 3 decades ago.
I'm straddling the fence right now. I didn't believe her in the beginning. I thought she was full of it. But I thought, great script, by the left, but then if it was scripted, they picked a hell of an actress because she's good.
I feel for both parties, and they both are arguing so strongly that I feel if they're arguing this strongly, either one could be real.
Well, it was also on every TV set at USC's Annenberg School for Communications. And coverage of today's hearing continues at 6:30 on the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor.
Breaking news now. At Cher's home in Malibu, the Ventura County Sheriff's Department has made an arrest at the singer's home. 23-year-old Donovan Ruiz was taken into custody this afternoon. We're told Ruiz does live at the home. Before the arrest, deputies served a search warrant related to a drug overdose earlier this month in Ventura County. Cher is not part of the investigation.
And developing news tonight from North Carolina, the FBI believes it has found the body of a 6-year-old boy with autism after days of searching. Maddox Rich disappeared on Saturday at Rankin Lane Park in Gastonia. The boy's father told authorities his son ran off out of sight. The Gastonia fire chief says the remains were found this morning in a creek about a mile east of the park. Maddox's parents have been notified about the tragic discovery.
Well, questions remain tonight in what was thought to be a possible kidnapping. Concerned people reported seeing a man pulled into a van against his will in a Starbucks parking lot. And CBS2 Inland Empire reporter Tina Patel is live in Riverside. And Tina, police have found the alleged victim, we're told.
But there's still a bit of a mystery here, Pat. Police say they are in contact with a person they believe to be the victim, that he is accounted for, but they're still not sure exactly what happened here last night.
It was an abduction. There is no question in my mind it was an abduction for one reason or another. I don't know.
Dennis Gray says what he saw in this Riverside parking lot last night was frightening. Several men appeared to be struggling outside an older van near the Starbucks drive-thru.
There was 4 guys in the van who were trying to pull this guy in. He was pretty much in, and I caught up to the guy who was pushing his feet in the rest of the way. I asked the guy, I said, "What's going on? What are you guys doing?" And he said that this guy had just raped his sister and that he was going to take him to the police department, which of course wasn't true.
Gray went to get his cell phone so he could take a picture of the van, but it had taken off by the time he got back. He says he didn't get a good look at the man inside the van, but other witnesses told police he was bleeding from the face, and detectives did find blood in the parking lot.
According to the witnesses, it seemed like this man, the possible victim, seemed to be trying to free himself from them. And then these 2 people kind of forced him back in the van.
Police say this afternoon they did make contact with that possible victim, but they are still investigating and do not know who the possible suspects are yet. They're reviewing security cameras in the area to see if that can provide more clues to exactly what happened here. And if you have any information that can help investigators, you're asked to contact Riverside Police. In Riverside, Tina Patel, CBS 2 News.
All right, Tina, thank you. And more bad news tonight for Tesla founder Elon Musk. The feds are suing him now for fraud. The Securities and Exchange Commission accuses Musk of misleading investors when he tweeted he was taking the company private. Last month, he tweeted he had secured funding to take it private at $420 a share. The SEC calls it false and misleading. The lawsuit wants to block him from serving on his own board or that of any public company.
Still ahead on CBS 2 News at 5, a recall by the Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah, why they say thousands of neckerchief slides could be toxic to Scouts.
Plus, a watery mess this morning when a car took out a fire hydrant in Tujunga. An update on the cleanup.
Also tonight, a suspect in a local case now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
And it's a controversial health trend that has some doctors raising a red flag. Why some people are choosing to drink turpentine.
Hey everybody, I'm Garth Kemp. Wow, clouds kind of hung by the beach areas today, but it was warm inland. Your forecast coming up.